Ifaket and Orhan discuss business with Bitol and Abidin. Ifaket says that his father asked him to draw up a prenuptial agreement for Bitol. Further, Ifaket says that she gave Abidin what he wants. And now he won't be able to come and kiss Calice's hand. Abidin apologizes to Suna and asks her not to move away from him. And Suna advises not to trust Ifaket either, but to go to Calice and tear up the check in front of him. Suna complains that anger has clouded his brain, and they don't have a life because of it. Abidin says that he wants Calice to tell him everything looking into his eyes. Suddenly, Seyran called Suna. She says Senin knows where she is now. And it makes her feel very bad. Seyran says she has to leave so that she doesn't bother others anymore. Suna calms down with Seyran. She says it's all temporary and advises her not to give up anything because of what she experienced with Senin. Suna believes that she and Abidin are both stuck in the past. But you need to live in the present without being afraid. Having listened to his sister, Seyran gives himself the installation not to be afraid and to find himself. Aishanan saw Seyran swimming in the pool. She tells Ferit about it. The latter, remembering that Seyran could not swim, runs to look for her. He finds her in the shower. Seyran heard a noise in the room and asked who it was. Ferit replied that it was him. After learning that Seyran can swim now, Ferit says that the water in the pool was cold. Seyran said that you need to tell the brain that the water is not cold, and it will not be cold. You also need to tell yourself that you are not frozen. And you won't get cold. Ferit came close and wrapped her in a blanket. Seyran trembled. Is it not from the cold anymore? Ferit asked. No, Seyran replied. Suddenly, the steamer hummed and Ferit closed the door to the balcony. Next, he tells Seyran to go to bed and not to go into the pool anymore. Seyran sets himself up to leave this house. Orhan has prepared a ring for the beetles. Suddenly, he began to see Guljan. Ifaket takes the situation of the battle into his own hands. Calice and Hadis breathe fresh air on the terrace before going to bed. Kazim does not dare to approach Ism to anyone. Ferit and Seyran are thinking about each other and can't sleep. A new day is coming. In the morning, Orhan gives Bitol a ring and says that they will get married as his father wants. Bitol says that her mother is not enough for such an event. Orhan offers to sign and leave the wedding for later when mom comes out. Next, Orhan asks Bitol to sign a marriage contract. And according to the plan and the facts, Bitol refuses to do this. Ferit called Dayar and said that he would come to Ilyas again today. But Dayar replied that this was no longer necessary, since after talking with Seyran, the grandfather changed his mind. Bitol informs Ifaket that she did everything as she said, and now she has a reason to leave this house. When she came to the kitchen, Seyran saw her father cooking. Kazim says that her mother was not from Antep, but a Dubai princess. Seyran said that this chocolate could be bought. Kazim says that he is not in the shops, and even the embassy said that he would be there in 3 days. Ferit enters the kitchen and Seyran undertakes to help his father. Kazım asks Ferit to help too. Seyran gives him the task to melt into chocolate, and she grinds pistachio. Suddenly, they remembered last night. Seyran said that it was not working out and she needed to leave here. Ferit says nothing happened yesterday. Seyran said it wasn't in their hands. Upon entering the room, Seyran and Ferit saw a black box on the bed. Opening it, Seyran sees the underwear that Senin gave her for the first night. Seyran realizes that Senin entered this room. And Ferit takes the shirt and goes to ask who left it in Seyran's room. Sevda's maid tells us that it was brought to the guards. And they told me not to open it, saying that it was a gift from Mar. Ferit understands why Senin came to his house yesterday. Orhan suggests strengthening security and hiring a female bodyguard in the house. Ferit asks Seyran if she still wants to leave.